Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenyan Revolutionary. Another one for another session. The last session. I know it's late at night. It's probably 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. in the morning in Kenya. But if you're still up, you're still in your bed, and you're messing around with your phone, or you're still on your computer, laptop, or desktop, or whatever the case is, whatever device you're using, or your tablet, karibu sana. Karibu sana. Coffee time. Unajua kawa tunakunywa vile ni kama sijui nini supu. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to this other show. Well, this session is the third one and the last one for the day. Tomorrow we do the same thing again, depending on how the day goes, okay? And me staying here depends on how we go. Mada leo, the topic at hand is what happens if Raila Odinga doesn't get the AU seat? We saw him today. He came up, had a press conference, and he was talking, mumbling and bumbling, talking about, I'm now going to focus on my AU seat. I'm going to campaign. I will not focus much on local Kenyan politics. I will not be active once I get that seat or AU seat, if I'm God willing, if I get it. Well, he was talking as if he's going to get it. So he's saying that if he gets that seat, he will no longer care, but no longer be active in Kenyan politics. Well, I've been saying this. Remember when he used to tell us that, najua Addis Ababa sio mbali, so if there's something I need to fix, it's just 2 hours flight away from Addis Ababa, and I'll back to Nairobi, and I'll fix things, and blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, he's seen the lights. He's telling us that, hey, if I get in... He sounds like he doesn't know what this job actually entails. The responsibility of an AU chairperson. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay? Because the way he's talking, he should have known. That's why I argued on my channel here once I heard him talk about he wants to pursue that AU seat. I said it here that, listen, if he's going to pursue that seat, then he needs to be less involved, if not involved at all, in anything matters Kenyan politics, because now he is taking up a job that includes the whole of the African continent. So let him not uingia kwa history ya Gen Z na hii mambo ya sijui finance bill na sijui nini. He shouldn't, because now he wants to, you're going for a bigger league, I'm not saying that, being an AUC chairperson, you're bigger than the president. Basically, you're not. But I'm just saying, those are two responsibilities. So from his utterances today, it clearly shows me that he is not ready to be an AUC chairperson. He doesn't understand what the job entails. I said it here again, I say it. But again, before we get started, before I start getting worked up, I might open the place for people to come in and issue their view, but I will rant and rave about today's happenings. There's so much happening. Over at South Africa politics, for those who care about politics, I'm just going to start this, then I'll come back to this Raila thing, okay? I'm coming back to Raila thing, because it's all kind of tied up. Not really, but yeah. Well, AFF lost their vice chairperson, I guess, the number 2 from Julius Malema, left EFF for Omkhonto Sizwe Party. I told you that Jacob Zuma is the man. I told you, for my South African friends. I told you. Well, they told me too. I don't live there. But that's by the way. I'm so happy. I think Omkhonto Sizwe won this election. There was a massive rigging in that place. But that's South African problem. Let's get back to Kenya. We're in Kenya here. Tunaongea Kenya. Kenya politics hapa. With our friend Raila Amolo Odinga. Okay? Ruto continues with his promises. He told us that atajenga stadium hapo Bungoma mpaka hata Arsenal itakuja kucheza hapo na Man City na teams zingine na Manchester United. What? Ruto. Hey, Ruto. Anyway, before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comrades, do me a favor. Just one favor, okay? If you are already here, na hauja subscribe kwa hii channel, endelea hebu finya hiyo subscribe button. Na ukishamaliza kufinya hiyo subscribe button, hebu like hii video, because I'm about to get in. We're about to chambua the politics of the day, okay? So like the video, like the video, like the video. If you're getting a notification and you're still up, if you're in Kenya, it's still up. Umeshindwa kulala unakunywa kahawa kama mimi, tafadhali ebu finya hiyo like. Now subscribe kama subscribe. If you're just getting this video is coming to you and you as a recommendation, please go ahead and do that. We talk about Kenyan politics here. So subscribe and put the like button na uweke notification ndio so every time I come in utanipata hapa. Ama namna gani? Okay, twende basi. So, let me just play this video again. I didn't have enough time when I tried to get my second session. I was kind of caught up in the middle of stuff. But very quickly, let's go through some tweets here that I find very interesting. Again, most channels talk about politics, in Kenyan politics, that is, local politics, how Uhuru is doing this, how Raila is doing this, how Ruto is doing this and that. And I always try to look at Kenyan politics through the lens of someone who, let me rephrase that. I kind of try to look at the root of the problems in Kenya. That's what I want to help you understand how I look at things. It's okay, we are dealing with Kenyan politics. Shida za zetu hizi, mashida za Ruto kudanganya, economy is tanking, and our friend Mbadi is, we get the problems. You know the problems, okay? But the question, when we're approaching this Kenyan problem and we're trying to find solutions, I would urge you to try to look at the problems, the deep root cause of the problems. We know that shida ya Kenya ni corruption, tribalism, and all ism and schism that we know about, right? But where does it stem from? Because ukabila, it's very active when it comes to the people huko chini, wananchi. But these corrupt criminal elites, who we refer to as the political class, hawana shida ya kuungana. You see, Ruto is friends with Raila. They are all from different communities, okay? And they don't mind helping each other. Jimmy Wanjigi is friends with Raila, Ruto, Uhuru, all these people, Musyoka, Malwa, Martha Karua. You even saw when Jimmy Wanjigi alishikwa. You saw, Musyoka was there to offer his services as a lawyer. Martha Karua was there very quickly. Walikuwa hapo karibu, washaingia tayari. Wamalwa pia, who is a lawyer, was there to help Wanjigi. Hey, let's help you. But you see, when wakina, Francis Gaito were being abducted, now wengine, the hundreds of kids who were being abducted when they were Gen Zs, you didn't see Kalonzo Musyoka go up there to try to represent them. No. Oh, no. He did, hakuna. But Jimmy Wanjigi, who is getting caught, you see that wanasaidiana huko, which means this ukabila ambayo inafanyika, it's just kind of ni huku chini, sisi wananchi ndio tunaninio, lakini this big whatever. So guess who's perpetrating this tribalist agenda? It's the political class, who I call the corrupt elite. Okay, so that's what. But it doesn't stop there, because the problem just doesn't stop there. It has more implication. It has a foreign hand in it. Yes, these leaders are inherently corrupt. The Raila Odingas, the Rutos, the Uhurus, the Mois, whatever. These people are inherently corrupt. But again, you see their dealings with the foreigners, these foreign powers that actually impose their will on us. I showed you a video here about the IMF, how IMF basically write our own policy. IMF write the Kenyans' economic policy. Very out of curiosity, why can't you ask yourself, Gladys Wanga, who has been the flower girl, the poster child for development as far as governors are concerned. Today we had report that from the news that she'd rather Bomoa a factory that was almost completed in order to extend her office, the governor's office, ajenge office yake. How does that make sense? Because a factory will actually create employment. A factory will actually boost the revenue collection. The factory will help the economy, the local economy. Watu watakuwa na job, it helps when you have jobs. That means people have money in their hands, people have more money in their hands, and the county can collect more revenue. And people can buy stuff. The business can thrive. Things like that. People will be able to, afford housing and all that, transport and all that, and business will do so. You see that? But she decides to undo that in order to extend Abomoy factory, ajenge governor's office yake ya Gladys Wanga, Miss Wanga mwenyewe. You see the thing? But you have to ask yourself, is she doing this just because she's corrupt? Yes. We've established that she's a corrupt woman. We get that part. We get that. But don't you think this is deliberately done and she's been influenced by a power bigger than her? Yeah? No? Yeah? Who? Ha? Who? Ha? Yes? No? Yes. You saw the guy. I told you about this. Kenya's economic policy is drafted, written, okay, by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, World Bank. They write it and they'll give Mbadi to read it. That's why I asked the question. I posed the question. I asked yourself, why is it that a day after Mbadi officially took office as the CS of Treasury, the IMF representative was the first to visit him in his office? Why? Megan Whitman, the US ambassador to Kenya, why she keep on visiting different kind of lenio? But let's get back to Raila Odinga. Tusitoke huko, because I'll help you. I'm pivoting to kai kwa. Unaona vile ndege ikikaribu kuland, mpaka kama pilot aiweke vizuri ana angle nzuri ya juu yako juu kidogo, mawingu wind gust hizo mpaka ucalculate. I'm calculating that. Tuende kwa Raila. But kabla tujenge kwa Raila, look at this. I want you to walk you through this. Wacheni ile kupiga makelele hapa sijui nini, sijui pastor anaenda kuomba huko Uhuru Park sijui nini. I will get to the Gen Z. Tomorrow I want to do a special with Gen Z. I want to do something with the Gen Z tomorrow. Tomorrow, don't miss. Hey, kama uja subscribe hapa ni shauri yako. Kesho ni Gen Z. Kesho ni Gen Z official. Hey, moto. Maandamano inakuja. Maandamano. Msikufe moyo. Maandamano inakuja. Haya. Tuingie hapa. Tuendelee. Haya, let me show you something real quick. I hope you are doing okay wherever you are. Please share, subscribe, like, comment. Now, if you're going to watch this on repeat, like, share, comment, now subscribe. Okay? So, thank you very much. Haya, tuende. Angalia hii picha hapa kidogo. What's wrong with this picture? Tell me what's wrong with this picture. Health CS Deborah Barasa hosts U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, to discuss enhancing health collaboration between Kenya and the U.S. Wewe unaona red flag hapo? Unaona watu walikuwa na complain about shift. Was it from NHIF to shift? See what we have. Is there something wrong with that picture? I asked my friend today, I asked him, hey, when was the last time you had a Kenyan ambassador to US visit the Department of Health in the US to discuss enhancing health collaboration between Kenya and the US? Or the US ambassador, Kenyan ambassador to US visiting the Department of Defense in US or education to discuss enhancing the relationship between the two countries. Does it happen? Absolutely no. It's always a one-way deal. What is it? Why is this woman? Just the other day she was with Hassan Joho. So mnakumbuka alikuwa analipiga picha hapa na Hassan Joho. Should I take? Nirudishe kwa Hassan Joho. Alikutana na Hassan Joho juzi. You remember? Need I show you? Need I remind you? Need I? I will. Kwa sababu amtaki kusikia. Nyinyi, how long shall I be with you? Mkiambiwa mnasema ti conspiracy theory. Mkiambiwa mnasema ni conspiracy. Na mimi nawaambia hapa, just listen, read, weka kwa kichwa, comprehend, process, angalia, listen to what they say, look at their action. That's it. You'll have a pretty good idea of what these people's intentions are. It's not rocket science. It's not conspiracy theory. and question. Why is it so hard for you mi hata zingine, unajua zingine hata naangalia hivi na alafu mtakuja hapa mnasema conspiracy. Hakuna conspiracy hapa. There's no conspiracy. And there's no theory. These are things that we know have happened. Okay? Ndio huyu ndugu yetu, you know his name. What's his name? I forgot his name. Shoot. The former Ugenya minority leader. Wacha tumsikie siku hizi anasema nini. Unajua siku hizi ni CS.
First, in a bit to address your question, we must understand what really constitutes the price of fuel at the pump station. It's a combination of factors. Key is the landing cost, over which I'm sure you know we have got very little control. Because it depends upon so many other factors out there. 2 is the taxation regime, which is something that is within the domain of parliament, as you know. But finally is the issue of transport and storage costs. And that's something we are actually working on actively with the management and the board of Kenya Pipeline Company. What you see us doing here is essentially to try and address areas where we can improve our efficiencies. Because once we do so, it will have a very direct impact on the pump price of our fuel products, oil products. Okay. I've also alluded to the fact that we want to focus over and above our domestic market on external markets. And Uganda, despite disengaging from the G2G arrangement, continues to import its fuel and pass it through our pipeline. Actually, the Kenya Pipeline Company continues to handle Ugandan's petroleum products up to date.
All right. Our buddy has changed tune. It's no longer blaming the government, talking about the parliament. Now he's giving us the factors that affect the fuel prices. Okay? Former ODM guy changes tune as soon as he becomes CS. And we should look at external factors. I told you, the Western companies it is not in their interest for you to be kujitegemea mwenyewe. They want you to tegemea them. That's why you see Kenya imports a lot of stuff. That is the whole point of the IMF and Megan Whitman running up and down meeting all these CSS, because she wants to make sure that mkiingia kwa hii ofisi ndio hii orodha ya kipindi. Orodha ya kipindi ni hivi. Nasikia? Orodha ya kipindi ni hivi. Sasa as long as you are CS, wewe ukitaka kuiba taxpayers, hiyo ni shauri yako. We shall not get at you for kuiba, lakini orodha ya kipindi ni hivi. Policy ni hivi. Policy ni ya kuwa mpaka ununue mafuta kutoka katika hii kampuni ABCD. You have to import it. Hatutaki kusikia mambo ya subsidies. Government cannot give subsidies to its people. Hakuna. You think I'm lying? There was huyu jamaa Cheragay went to Spice FM and said that under the advice of the IMF, told Ruto's government that, hey, you cannot provide subsidies on fuel. You cannot. Kwa sababu wanataka ununue fuel kutoka kwao, kampani zao. Okay? Hiyo ni orodha ya kipindi. Ukikataa hiyo orodha ya kipindi, tutaweka maandamano utoke. And they are capable of doing that. Ama tutakuchinja. Chaguo ni lako. That's why you see wao kina Megan Whitman ndio huyo. Unaona wanaenda hapo Joe, unaona aliambia nyinyi mnafikiri mchezo. I'm trying to help you. Tuelewe hizi vitu. Tuelewe. Nanisikia? Okay. There's someone I want to play his I want to learn about this candidate. This is my candidate of choice for Kenya. and I hope he stays safe and one day becomes the Kenyan president. I'm worried because he is already, in my view, I think he has survived 3 assassination attempts. When he fought against the finance bill, wajambazi walienda kamchapa. He survived a road accident alikuwa ametoka Kakamega anaenda Kisumu or Kisumu to Kakamega or something like that. Let me play his stuff. This is a candidate of my choice. Unless afanye something different, I'm with him.
Recent, most unfortunate. I therefore add my voice to those who have come out to strongly condemn His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto's recent, most unfortunate, reckless, unwarranted, ill-informed, misguided, immature, unhinged, unnecessary, barbaric, satanic, and without a doubt, unconstitutional attacks on the judiciary. So we have got 63 billion shillings that's taken from the taxpayer that have disappeared. 17 we can see it went to the oil. The remaining we need to be told. The Minister for Finance needs to tell us why they approved those expenditures. And the control of budget, why she signed off for this money to be taken out of the consolidated fund. Parliament has become a small appendix of the executive, and Parliament does what the executive wants because the majority side is part of the executive.
Yeah, my name is Okio Mtato Koiti. I'm a senator of the Republic of Kenya, elected by the people of Busia County. I'm a member of the Parliament, the National Parliament. Well, my childhood is that I grew up in a very, very heavily Catholic home. And I had a big influence from the Catholic Church right from my childhood. And so it had an influence on me, and especially my grandfather. He always encouraged me to do good, and one of the things he used to tell me that if you want to change the world, don't wait to do big things. Even if you're walking on a road and you find a thorn, and you're wearing shoes, you can make the road better for those who don't have shoes just by picking up that thorn, breaking it and throwing it away. So you say you make the world better for those who will come without shoes on that road. So he used to say, don't look to do big things, just do the ordinary things. And he used to tell me, if you look at even the Bible, the Beatitudes, you could go through them and say, Jesus says that you are judged by very small things. I was hungry and you didn't give me food. I was in prison, you didn't visit me. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. So he said, you'll not be judged by big things in this world. You are judged by the small things you do. When I look back in my report, I've got all my report cards from class 1. My father preserved them. Then he gave me this. I got my record. When I realized in secondary school, they used to say, obedient but outspoken. And I remember my last report card from Tindinyo College. That's where I did from 6. Father Hayes wrote that obedient but too outspoken for the comfort of some who are not mature in their minds. So that's what Father Hayes says. So I think that being outspoken, despite that, they made me a head boy in A level. So, but they thought that I was too outspoken.
I think Omtata is somebody who, first of all, is quite firm. In my interactions with him, I found him to be a person of great integrity and a person who has a strong commitment to his cause. We all remember when Omtata by himself chained himself to a vigilance house And he's told me the story of what happened. The police could not believe it. After they arrested him and they managed to break the chains, and senior people in the police service went to interview him, and they were asking him, who is funding you? They were in serious panic. They thought he must be driven by foreign or donor interests, and it was because of his own passion for justice.
There was a time, remember, whenever a parliament, MPs could be elected, the first thing they would do was to increase their salaries. That thing used to annoy me. So I did some research. And I found that there was a law called the National Assembly Remuneration Act of 1978, which was moved by Mwai Kibaki when he was Minister for Health. That is what allowed parliamentarians to pay themselves. When I looked at it and I read section 41 of the old constitution, the one that was repealed, I realized that nobody had the power to pay themselves under that constitution. So around that time, then I wrote an article in The Nation. So as a result of that, I was called to a TV show. We were debating the Honorable Mutama on that television show. And I think after the first few shots were fired. And I said, I'm going to go to Parliament and petition Parliament to repeal this law because it's unconstitutional. So I finished the show late, then I traveled to Busia that night by bus. I like traveling by overnight bus. So when I got to wherever I was going, next day, at around 10, I got a phone call that I did from a number I did not know. So when I answered it, the person introduced himself that I'm Kibe Mungai, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And I listened to your debate yesterday, and I think you make a very strong point. I've gone and checked the law, and you are 100% right. The only thing you are wrong is you are going to Parliament. If you go to Parliament, you will not achieve what you are looking for. The MPs cannot remove food from their own mouth. I'll volunteer my services as a lawyer. I want you as my client. We go to the High Court and challenge the law for being unconstitutional. We did that. The case dragged on and dragged on. Eventually, the new constitution happened. The case went on. Then I won the case. That act was declared unconstitutional. Null and void. Then I continued doing other things using advocates like Kanjama, Charles, Kibe Mungai, and many others.
I remember in 2010, while we were in the process of the run-up to the referendum on the new constitution, I was doing a column in the newspaper. Actually, it was in the Sunday Standard with another colleague called Kibe Mungai. And we were exploring different chapters of the constitution. It was like a debate, yes and no. And Omtata, I think, may have followed some of those articles, and he was concerned about part of the process in the run-up to the new constitution.
Butere girls were performing a play called Shackles of Doom, which was written by the current UDA Secretary General Malala. He used to write plays, those plays. So they won, and they were supposed to perform at the Nationals. But I think when the people in government did not like it, so they said they could not perform. So they gave the rights to another school. When I read about that thing, I decided to intervene, and I said, these little girls have won. They should just be allowed to perform. So I go to work in Malala and whatever, but everybody was not willing to wear affidavits and whatever, like they're okay with what had happened. We will fight another day. So I went to court and challenged it on right of freedom of expression and literary creativity. And I was happy that the late Justice Majanja again made a very, very brilliant ruling on the issue of freedom of expression and the creative arts. That to me is very, very important, because freedom of expression is the hallmark of a free person. First of all, it's the intimidation of judges. Sometimes you get judges writing, even this judgment, like even the ones we have got here. The High Court decided to avoid many of the other issues we raised. I don't went for the housing thing and a few other things. The Court of Appeal has done the same. has allowed, if you like now, I've told you about Article 293, which is the anchor article that requires the Senate to participate in the budget. Because it says Parliament shall ensure that constitutional commissions and independent offices are adequately funded. And Parliament is both houses. So they have still not addressed that, which then means further litigation. But you cannot prepare enough, because even in my mouth here, I don't have 10 teeth. I was knocked out, my skull was broken here and was broken at the back. But it was for refusing a bribe of 9 million shillings over the BVR case last time of the 2013 elections. There are those kinds of things. The other day you saw my office was broken into, then my home was raided, and all manner of things were happening. But I'm happy that this time the media came out and condemned it loudly. Even there was one media, I think that the Standard wrote a full editorial on it and said you were able to accommodate this.
Your colleague's life is in danger, badala ya kuangalia kwamba full investigation iangaliwe shida ni nini, tunataka kuanza kujificha ati ni siasa ya kufanya nini?
And I don't see why people should actually mobilize goons when you have done your job. So for us as a Senate, we say, do your job and allow us to do ours.
I think Omtata's approach is much more engaging the grassroots, getting people in the grassroots. Omtata is more able to do things individually or with one or two people, because sometimes when you take up important cases, people get compromised.
Well, it affected me because my children have had to hide their identity. Like they went to school, the names they went by were nicknames, although they got their official names and they told the school not to reveal that. I never attended Parents' Day for my kids or anything. The mother always went. So I did not want them to be linked to me, and I explained it to them, and it's good things that they understood and saw the value in it. So I have had to adjust my life here and there to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. When you look at our Constitution, the Bill of Rights puts the individual at the center of the state, protection of the individual, to ensure the individual is protected. So that secular position and the religious position, and if you go to Article 3, Clause 1 of the Constitution, there's an obligation to defend the Constitution, to promote it, and to uphold it on every individual. So those things come, and when I heard we hear the Gen Z saying that tribeless, partyless, formless, leaderless, they are anchored in Article 3, Clause 1, that calls upon the individual to defend the Constitution, not groups. You see, so you come out as an individual and stand by the Katiba. So when I see those kind of things, I'm encouraged.
The State Law Office, the Attorney General's office, they even have a section in the State Law Office just dealing with Omtata's cases. They require a whole registry to deal with several of their cases. Even the judiciary recognized that he has been very effective, not being an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. He seems to understand the Constitution so well. He argues cases so effectively, and he has obtained several successful rulings and judgments.
Well, there's no separation between activism. Just one way of saying do it now. Yeah, so that's why I do my oversight. So they are not mutually exclusive. One feeds into the other. And if you don't oversight the national government and make sure that the money is protected, then the ground will take nothing. And also you'll find that the impunity at the top percolates to the bottom. Because if the top people are unclean, they can't demand the others to be clean. It becomes a cartel of sorts.
First of all, Omtata is a playwright. Some of his plays have been set books even in national examination, so Kenyans have read about it. His advocacy for justice with the police and so on has resulted in several changes. His court cases, one of the cases which I represented him involved the recovery of about 650 acres of land in Busia that was going to be irregularly taken over because of the sugar wars involving Mumias Sugar and other agencies. And he successfully recovered that piece of land that had been compulsorily acquired from the farmers, and it was given to the county government to use to develop either an industrial park or matters that will benefit the people there.
These are the things that are going on around us, and we are happy for it. So my outlook for the country is a bright one, that the ordinary people are now asking the important questions. They've realized that the government is a servant, not a master. And I hope that is not lost. So the current the demos are very important. I've seen through the litigation I've done, I've really affected many institutions. I've been able to achieve this and that. So my legacy will just be fidelity to the rule of law and the Constitution. If to the last day I can live being faithful to the law and the Constitution, I'll be a happy man, I'll be a fulfilled man. History will judge me. I have a track record of a paper trail. And I can account for all my money. And I've stood up against the powers that be, even including foreign embassies. So who is hiring me? Where can they hire somebody else? And what I'm articulating is the rule of law. So how can I be a goon when I'm demanding the rule of law? So it is an oxymoron.
I know that there are those who claim that Omtata is a hired gun. They say that some of the public interest cases he takes, he acts as a hired gun. And that issue is out there. But I also know that Omtata, based on my personal involvement with him, he has received several proffers to compromise him in several cases and stood firm.
They should work towards going to parliament, towards going to county assemblies, because that's how decisions are made in this country. If you go and be passionate and you get people like yourself to go into parliament in large numbers, then you will influence. You'll be able to get good budgets. You'll be able to get whatever. So the majoritarian institutions must not be frowned upon. They must be, and as Plato said, if good men don't govern, they'll be governed by bad men.
A first piece of advice is that the going gets tough, and the tough have to get going. If when you engage in a social action advocacy, you only look for immediate results and you get discouraged when results take time, then you cannot really persevere or endure. When you look at Omtata, you see a lifetime spent in social advocacy. There are some wins and some losses. You have to keep engaging at the job.
What a wonderful piece about Okiya Omtata's history, brief biography, kind of accomplishments. This man deserves his flowers as long as he's here, but before he dies, because I think he has accomplished a lot. In my opinion, he has accomplished a lot more than Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, Ruto, Martha Karua, Wamalwa, and all these clowns. I think Okiya Omtata is a man. And one thing that we have to also learn, he didn't jump into these things when it was popular. It was the thing. It was a fad. It was fashionable. There's a lot of people who are joining these organizations, this Gen Z movement, because it's fashionable to do so. It's the thing to do as of right now. No. Which is fine. They're going to be people like that. When revolution happens, they want to be part of it. Wakina Cairo, whatever the case is. He jumped in there. He was a businessman, whatever the case is. Akajiingiza kwa hii ninio as the face of the Gen Z. Then things started getting real. People started getting shot down. DCI started clamping down on people. And they went back and went to their business. Kind of remind me of the story of the Bible with Jesus and his disciples. When Jesus recruited people, the disciples started following him. Then when things got tough, walisema wacha bwana, wacha nikarudi kwa let me go back to fishing. Hii mambo ya kufuata Yesu hapa hizi. I wasn't ready for this. wacha nirudi kwa fishing, nilikuwa na job bana, usilete mambo ya sijui gospel hapa. But eventually, you know, they came back and they saw what really the mission was all about. And it's the same thing. And I think that's the biggest lesson we can get from this whole piece. I know this is about, I was talking about Raila, but the reason why you might be asking yourself, hey, I thought this was a Raila, what happens if Raila goes to AU? The reason why I'm playing this piece is because Raila's time is almost over. I don't mean his natural life as far as, you know, Yekwam high or him almost dying. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his political life. Raila's political life is over, virtually over. And he's saying that, he's hinting that. That's why he gave that speech telling you that, hey, listen, mi naanza ku transition. Okay? I'm not Raila's fan. I'm not, by any means. The reason why I'm choosing him specifically is because he has been deemed as that face of whatever about reforms that has happened in Kenya, which is probably not true, not entirely true. Okay, yes, he took part in that 1992, you know, multi-party fighting for that, but I think of recent past, Raila has not been on good side of history, the right side of history. If anything, he has facilitated the regimes, the oppressive regimes of Kibaki, Moi, Uhuru, Ruto now. Okay, so but he has his part. He did his part. I'm not taking everything away from him. He did his part. Hizo siku za Shikuku na Matiba and all those stuff. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: now that we are moving to the next, the torch is being passed. Okay, we are no longer going. I'm not saying we should rally around Okiya Mtata and make him a cult figure like we did Raila. No, I'm not saying that. But there's a lesson to be learned about Okiya Mtata. He did think these things when people were calling him crazy. I remember when I used to go to Mutembei, and I used to tell people, man, there's this guy called Okiya Mtata. He's saying all these good things because, you know, I didn't know about Okiya Mtata until he started. You know, I heard about him fighting the finance bill. He went to, I think there was one, you know, not to Spice FM. I think Spice FM some years back, 2 years back or something like that. I'm like, this guy is, yeah. But when I mentioned him at Mutembei was really divided into two. You're either Raila supporter or Ruto supporter at the time, 2022, okay? And I told them, I'm not voting for anybody. I'm not with anyone. And when I mentioned Okiya Mtata, everyone was like, Okiya Mtata is a madman. Why would you support that crazy guy? The guy that ties himself to you happy and anajifungia happy. I was like, no. You these people they call crazy. Wasikie. Listen to them. Besides that, few people like Miguna, those are the people who I kind of, you know, gravitate towards. You know, they are very principled. They say what they mean. Remember when Miguna was saying Raila is a con man and all that, and people are saying, oh, Miguna is just a loud mouth. Talk hapa yo na puzi. Now we are saying, oh, you know what? Miguna was right. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But back then, everyone was like, oh, no, Miguna's doing Miguna's. These are the people we need to embrace. And what is important, like I said, be consistent. Whether you are, even my brother Benson is over here too. I don't know if he's still listening, but I'm glad to see him too. Go to his channel and subscribe, share, like, and do all the good stuff. The reason why I also, if he's listening to this and all these other channels, you have to be consistent and you have to be principled. He'll tell you better than anybody else. You know, we started our channels by, you know, talking about politics and all this good stuff. But again, the greater lesson that I learned from this clip is that he says something that let it not go over your head. Mpaka ukuwe principled. Usinunuliwe, stick to your guns. Kama ni constitution ambao utasimamia constitution, simamia constitution. Kuna watu ambao watajaribu kukutukana. Kuna watu ambao watajaribu kumaliza channel yako, wataingia hapa wanasema wanafanya vitu different things. Okay, just to mess up your journey. Na kuna watu watajaribu kukununua, wakwambie nitakupatia do, I'll promote your channel, ufanye mambo mengine. Okay, I like this comment. But anyway, like I said, you have to stay consistent and stick to your guns and you have to be principled. Usi fall for the Udinio. Let me entertain my friend here. Otego is saying, without Raila, you don't have a content. Okay. Let me tell you something. My content is about Kenya, not Raila. Raila is part of Kenya, is one of the figures in Kenyan politics. Okay. So if Raila dies today, I will still have my channel and continue talking about Kenya. Okay. So it's not about Raila. I know maybe because you are Raila fanatic, that's why you're speaking like the way you're speaking, but please understand, not all of us are sycophants. We don't follow people just because a bunch of people who view Raila as this great person is following. So thank you for your comments, but hey, there are people who don't look at Raila as the same way you do. I don't personally look at him as a great man. He did his thing. He did his thing as a, in 92 or whatever. But for the most part, he's been a con man. He's a con artist. He's a political con man who has been control opposition, pretending to be on the a reformist. So miss me with that. My content is not about Raila. You can go check I have almost 393 videos, and they're not all about Raila. So nice try. Try again, sir, Otego. But anyway, thank you for your comment. Anyway, so like I was saying, you have to be consistent. Do things because you believe in it, not because umelipo unalipo ufanye hivyo ama it's fashionable. Because hii mambo ya Gen Z itakuja hapa hivi na Gen Z itaisha. It will be over. Some people are getting content because of Gen Z itaisha, itapita. Then what? Kama una content, like I see another channel, they like Raila is about to leave. Now what content will they have? Nothing. Just like Otego is saying here, or whatever. If it's about Raila, akitoka nini? Wengine, the content is all about Ruto. Ruto akitoka power or what? Go look at my videos. I'll be talking about Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila, Martha Karua, everyone can get it. Everyone can get it as long as you stand on principle. I've never wavered. I've never changed. I started this way before I knew what Gen Z was. Okay? So when this Gen Z came up, it was just a wonderful time for me because it's like, oh, shoot. A bunch of people who share the same thoughts. We are thinking this system is corrupt. Let's get rid of these corrupt elites. And it was a good mashup. Okay? And even if they go, I'll still continue. I mean, shoot. I used to rumble by myself. One person watching me. All just go look at my videos. 2 views, 1 view. Na niko naendelea. Not because because I believe in I believe what I say. I believe it. Okay? So if you want to take it the way you take it, that's why I have so much respect for Kiamtata. I wish I can get contact with him. I've tried to reach out to him. I know he's a busy man. He's a lawyer, I think. If he's not a lawyer, but he's a senator. He's a busy man. I would like to. Those are the few people that I would like to see on my channel and interview personally. Okay, because that's really touching. Somebody who chained himself. People call him crazy, call him what? But look at the changes that he made in Kenya. Just a simple man. Hana ujinga ukabila, hana ujinga nini. Just by himself. Of course, he worked with his, staff members, but I'm just saying he was heading the whole thing when it was not famous. Gen Z didn't know. That's why I was so touched that when Gen Z had that meeting in Uhuru Park, when they were walikuwa na remember the people who they lost. And when Kiamtata got to the stage, I mean, that picture was so iconic. Finally, people are giving him the respect that is deserved. He fought for all this stuff where we thought he was mad. When everyone was looking, Okia ni mjinga. Watu walikuwa nasema, Raila, Ruto, Ruto ako na pesa, Raila ako na pesa, Uhuru ako na pesa, So that's what it is. Usifanye vitu tu kwa sababu ya fame. That will itaisha. Fame itaisha. Itaenda. Kandi nasema, hey man, really like your content and defiantly doesn't revolve around Raila. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you so much, Candy. Thank you so much. Yes, it doesn't revolve around Raila. Thank you so much for the news. And that's what I'm saying. Because easy stories daisha. Raila taishia, naishia. Si ndio Raila ndio He has said it. Mi nikienda AU history yenu ya TB Mtaba Amapa itaisha. Itaisha. He understands his time is up. He's what, 80 years old? Sasa hata kama content yangu ina evolve around Raila, nitazungumza juu ya nini saa Raila akienda? You see what I'm saying? But go look at my videos, Otego. It's not about Raila, it's about Kenya. These Railas are Raila Rutos, these are characters, people who are in Kenyan politics who have affected the progress ya Kenya. That's why we mention them. We don't mention them because I'm obsessed with them, I like them, or whatever the case is. It's because these people have made decisions that really regressed Kenya into where it is right now. And that's what you need to understand. So miss me with that. But speaking of Raila Odinga, let's listen to his speech. I would like to play it one more time because it kind of sounded like anatoka exit. I mean, you know, time yake, it's over with. It's over with. Anaishia. Not saying like anaishia, but yeah, it's kind of, you know, at some point everyone has to quit. Kila mtu atamaliza safari yake. At some point, everyone, even me, yeah, tutazoeka niwache hii channel ama whatever the case. Everyone shall do that. And I'm saying, so far, when I look at this political field of any politician all the politicians that I look at, Okiya Mtata does it for me. To me, there's nothing that moves me as somebody who nobody cared about. Na si kama Kasmuel, not to ingilia Kasmuel because a young man, I'm not dissing him, but I'm just saying, Kasmuel ni mtu, you know, to his credit, he took advantage of the movement, akaji market, you know, he dressed like the part, he talks the part, and, you know, he's eloquent, na anasema zile vitu anasema, and he's coming out, and that's how, you know, he akapata clout yake hivyo. That's fine. That's okay. But to me, there's so many questions around him that I still think there's something there that I can't really, you know, endorse. Even though I say, hey, Kasmuel, makoure. But I'd rather go with someone who didn't do it for fame. Unasikia, jamaa alipigwa hata amesema meno yangu zengine sina. How many the accidents he has survived? Watu wanamuita sijui uje chalini chizi. That's what moves me. If you want to move me, for them, I'm just saying, don't do things just because it's popular. Do it because you believe it. I cannot question Okiya Mtata unless he starts doing things that are in union. Then I'll be like, breaks. What are you doing? But Charlie, he didn't look for clout. Hakutafuta clout. That's the point. Okay? So as we transition, I wish people would rally around someone like Okiya Mtata. And like I said, Okiya Mtata is one of the few politicians who are in power, who spoke publicly against IMF, World Bank, and all that stuff. Ulimsikia hata amesema hapo, amesha hata chapana na, not physically, but I'm talking about lawfully, ninio na embassy flani. Okay? Because he believes in what he believes in. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a leader. Somebody consistent, somebody, you know, Anyway, here's Raila Odinga. Let's get to him real quick. Here's him, na hiyo maninio zake za mwingine.
Once I'm elected, you know that I'm going to begin to work for the continent once I'm elected. That's going to be in February next year. At the moment, I'm involved in the campaign, but that does not mean that Kenya ceases to exist. I'm not going to be very active in Kenyan politics henceforth, as I continue now to focus my attention on the continental campaign. But it is a phase, it is a transitional phase from active participation in Kenyan politics to moving towards African continental politics. Thank you.
Okay. So there he is. He's basically telling us he's transitioning to another stuff. So hii mambo ya tialala TB mitaisha. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm making it new. But that's what he's basically saying. Time yake ina come to an end and I'm transitioning. Karen Curry is saying, just to respond to you for the sake of it. You're obsessed with Casper, leave him alone if you can't do what he's doing. I don't know what okay, how do we do this? First of all, go get the definition of obsession, because you definitely don't know what obsession means, but I will help you. I'm not obsessed with him. I'm just drawing the parallels between the two, okay, Omtata and Kasmuel. Kasmuel, how he came up, he kind of took advantage of a movement that was going mechacha, this Gen Zs, and Akaji promotes, which was genius of him. Dress well, talk well, go to this news Ninio and assert yourself as the face of this movement. Okay, Omtata didn't need to do that. He didn't do that. He didn't try to assert himself to be a leader of anything. Okay, he did it when it wasn't famous. It wasn't the thing to do. It wasn't fashionable, but he did it because he believed in it. Okay, and now we can see he has a track record. He told you, go look at enda kangalia bank account yangu. I can account for every shilling that I made. Look at I have the receipts. So I was using him as an example. If you compare with Casmuel, Casmuel to me says good things. I don't know. Like I said, I won't go about that. So what are you saying? Alone, you can't do what I can do. What? Yeah, you're right. I can't do what he's doing because we're on different lanes. He wants to be a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I'm content doing what I'm doing right now. That's the difference. Okay. So thank you for the try, but like and say, share, subscribe. Nice try. Yeah. So Raila Odinga is going to leave the political scene. And so we have to. Now, I know a lot of people are looking at 2027, depending on how this Gen Z thing work out. Tunasikia makanisa sijui nataka kwenda maandamano. Airport people want to go to maandamano on the 27th. Walimu pia wanataka kwenda maandamano on the 27th or 28th or 7th. Maandamano pia iko ya Gen Z on the 28th. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, but it's going to be tough. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Ruto is going to make it on to 2027. And I'm saying this. One thing I will slightly disagree with what Oki Omtata is saying. I know he was talking about the best way, the advice that he would give the young people is to try to occupy those seats in the parliament so that they can make changes in there. The reason why I'm not for that is because I think, first of all, the process of voting them or getting the votes to get to those positions is already skewed. Okay, IBC will choose the people they want to choose. Okay, so you can be there, you can be as famous, unaweza kuwa na votes, uko na mashabik or whatever, fans or whatever supporters, voters who are ready to vote for you. But if the system, if the IBC commissioners and the workers therein remember, these are people who are going to work for a particular people, the same corrupt political class. They are going to choose who they want to be in parliament. That way, they can maintain power. They can maintain what they're doing because they don't want somebody like they don't want 100 Oki Omtatas at the parliament. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. So they will make sure they don't bring 100 Oki Omtatas on parliament. So they will, do what they have to do. That's why they are making laws on this IBC amendment bill. Has some funny laws like having mobile polling stations. Okay, that gives room for funny business. Okay, Karen Curry is saying we all have different personalities and should be respected. His suits, his choices. Period. Yeah, I don't have a problem with his suits. Who mentioned something about suits? I was just mentioning suits that it's an image thing that he's putting out, which is fine. I say this 1,000 times. Maybe you don't watch my videos. Can you please watch my videos, my previous videos that have addressed this? You're kind of making me talk about this again, and I'm trying to talk about something else, but I'll address you again. I totally agree with you. We are different, personality different, and we should respect each other. Yes, I didn't disrespect Samuel. I said I agree with most of the things that he says, but I have my questions. When I mentioned the suits, I see what he was trying to do. His suits it's about image, which is fine. If he was wearing t-shirts and jeans and he's talking about what he was talking, people will take him less serious. But he's well-dressed, talks well, very well thought out answers that he gives when asked. It helps, yes, because he's running for public office in the future. He has that dream of doing that, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying the point I was making is that Okiya Omtata did not need to do that. Okiya Omtata alijileta kama yeye. Whether he was wearing a suit, t-shirt, he was doing that stuff. Not wearing whatever, he was being him. Okay? So that's why I'm saying they're two different people, two different whatever. No disrespect to Kasmuel. Maybe are you Kasmuel in, are you carrying Kare? Are you Kasmuel? You seem to be. So anyway, that's the point I'm making. Like I said again, and I'll just address this for the last time today. I am not against what he's saying. The problem I have with Kasmuel is I ask questions. I say question marks. When he started saying that watu ambao wanataka kwenda maandamano and advocating for maandamano, they have to report to the collective. And that's why I started asking, who is he to determine or to tell people that they have to check on with the collective? Or, why is he dismissing people who want to make posters and say, hey, we are going to maandamano on the 28th or 21st or whatever the case is? Who is he to determine that? You see what I'm saying? Even that's why wakina Omuga na CT walimwambia, wewe, that you are gatekeeping. Ni kama unataka udetermine who can go to maandamano when and who cannot. You can't do that. Kama watu wakikusema ati, hey, leo tunataka kwenda maandamano Kisimbi downtown, let them do it. After all, we are for change. That's my point, and that's why I said these are the kind of questions that I ask about this man. It has nothing to do with his suits. That's why I can't fully endorse him. There's something about him. But let's not... I digress. I wasn't out here to talk about him. Like I said, again, Raila is making... Now, speaking of Ninio, Okiya Omtata also tweeted something that we did not pay attention to, or some of us did know about this, but let me just say it very quickly. This is when he tweeted something about what happened with the Supreme Court. Here it is, if you can see it. The Supreme Court has suspended the decision that declared the Finance Bill Act 2023 as unconstitutional, pending the determination of an appeal filed by Treasury CS. The Supreme Court judges in issuing the order considered the uncertainty regarding the revenue-raising measures and difficulty that may arise in the operation of the two levels of government. So, remember the decision by Supreme Court. Unakumbuka Okiya Omtata, among others, who are the people who went walienda ku challenge this Finance Bill 2023, saying that it was unconstitutional. And Supreme Court wali decide that it is unconstitutional, kumbali na hiyo decision. Sasa wameisuspend hiyo decision kwa sababu the Treasury CS Mbadi, who met the IMF representative, see, I'm connecting the dots. Unasikia? Let me say it one more time so you can follow me closely. Mbadi vile aliingia ofisi, his second day was visited by that IMF representative. Sindi unakumbuka wakapiga picha hapo kwa ofisi yake. Then Mbadi went ahead and appeal the decision by the courts that determined that the Finance Bill 2023 was unconstitutional. So Mbadi vile appeal, Supreme Court all of a sudden, the courts, I don't know if it was Supreme Court or which court they went to. I don't know if it was High Court or Supreme Court. The court, sasa wame suspend your decision pending wakisema kuwa kwa sababu ya hiyo appeal by Mbadi. Unakumbuka? Unanifuata? Because Mbadi has appealed that decision, the Supreme Court wame suspend that decision. Okay? Saying, ukisoma hapo, the Supreme Court judges in issuing the order considered the uncertainty, which means vile walitoa hiyo order ati umesuspend your decision ya declare the Finance Bill Act 2024 unconstitutional. Wanasema kuwa they considered the fact that uncertainty regarding the revenue raising measures and difficulty that may arise in operation of the two levels of government. So wanasema hivi, wali suspend. This is a bizarre decision by the courts, by the way. So that's why a lot of people are calling for Kome to atoke hapo. Hata pia wameninio. Because wanasema ati hii italeta shida. Tumesuspend decision ya kudetermine finance bill ni unconstitutional kwa sababu we consider the fact that kama hatuna finance bill inaweza kuleta shida, maana hatuwezi kupata the taxes that we are to be collected. Now it affect national government and county government, which is freaking ridiculous all the way through. That is what basically they're trying to say here, okay? Which is ridiculous, because if something is unconstitutional, it is unconstitutional. Hakuna mambo ya sijui tunaisuspend kwa sababu Mbadi ameweka appeal. You look at the evidence. If it is unconstitutional, it violates the constitution, there is nothing to it. Okay? What is Mbadi's mbona kutuambia? Did they explain what was the reason for appealing this decision? That is where we should be focusing on. If their reason is because issuing no, kama constitution imesema, kama judges walipata hii kitu ni unconstitution, then this is what they need to do. Our wanabunge, whatever the case is, the treasury should go back to square one, draft another finance bill, na wafuate sheria, constitution, rudi kwa wananchi, public participation, okay, and do it the right way. Ndio upate hiyo upate inaitwaje, consent of the people to collect taxes from them. You understand what I'm saying? Based on the budget that you have. Na hiyo budget pia inafaa ikuwe constitution. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I agree with you. Yes, courts shouldn't be making laws, follow the rules only. Actually, the courts should be interpreting the laws, not following rule. Yeah, they should follow rules, yes, but also interpretation of what the law says. That's what their job is mainly to do. You know, kama kuna disputations between two or more parties, that is their job. Interpret the constitution as it is supposed to, and also follow it. Make sure that it is followed through as they make the decision. Their decision should be informed by the constitution. So this is a bizarre ruling. That's why so many people are saying Koome pia amechafuka, aende, aishie, atoke, aende. So yeah, that's another tweet by Okiya Omtata that relates to that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, it's been 1 hour. KK, I wish you could have come in earlier, but it's been 1 hour, and kesho, you know, I'll be shughulikia mambo mengine, but thank you so much for everyone who was part of this. KK, thank you so much. Nice seeing you, brother. Kesho ingie mapema tuongee bana. Caring Carey, you're always there. Caring Cares. I don't know what. I'll call you Caring. Thank you for your comment. Otego pia wewe. Thank you so much, brother Benso. Also stop up here. Chief Negus, my sister, thank you so much for also being here. Pole, you know, I thought you were, you know, but it's was stuck now. Wax boss, my bad. It's okay. Usijali, easy job. If you can make it, well and good. If you can't, pia ni sawa. Naelewa bwana. You know, job ni job. Mpaka tufanye job. Mama namna gani? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with everybody, and I always have open sessions. Sometimes Leo, just, you know, it's been an hour. I'm not trying to stay here long, but share with others. Tell your friends about this channel. You can support the channel through super chats, if you know how that works. Unafinya hiyo kitu, tupa ma coins, bili tatu, bili TV, $1, bili shillings, tatu, bili. You can do that. If you don't want to, that's fine. You're not obligated to do that. Unaweza kusupport the channel. You can be a member. all that good stuff, all that good stuff. Ukitaka ni promote your business, whatever the case is, I can help you with that. Just come here, talk to me. I'll throw you the email here. Anyway, regardless of that, make sure if you're going to watch this repeat, please subscribe. Come on, just subscribe, share, comment, like the video. Everyone that's watching here, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Tuonane kesho ama namna gani? Sawa basi, you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.